Support for NPR and the following message come from IXL Learning. IXL Learning uses advanced algorithms to give the right help to each kid no matter the age or personality. Get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when you sign up today at IXL.com/NPR.
Hey, it's Mike and Ian, and we have another classic episode of How to Do Everything, one from the archives.
That'll explain the older references you may hear to shows like The Facts of Life or Hogan's Heroes.
We hope you enjoy it.
How are you guys? I'm fine.
Good.
So how do we pronounce your name?
It's Aras, like, Toys R Us without all the toys. Yeah, that's the best way to get it through the Americans, They get it perfectly each time.
All right, so Aras is here with us on the line because he has a solution for that moment when you are struggling with a bag of chips. You can't open it.
It's a terrible experience we've all been through. So, Aras, you want to tell us your tip?
Yeah, sure. Actually, it's quite an exotic solution, I think. See, I work for a company called Hittits, and we do software for the airlines all over the world. So I was in Taiwan, of all places, for a project. The thing is, the clients are there, and I am there, and I'm hungry, and I'm trying to get a bag of Lay's open. But it's one of those stubborn bags, right? So it won't just open from the seam.
Right.
And I'm a little bit concerned that I'm going to shower all the clients with the chips. So as I was trying to do that silently, like the senior vice president guy, all Taiwanese, very formal, sees me and he comes over, and he just gets out 2 coins out of his pocket, and he says, hand it over to me. And the thing is, what he does is that he places these coins on the opposite side, right along the seam on the back. So, and then he squeezes them with his thumbs, and he just makes a shearing motion. He uses them like scissors, and they cut right through the back very cleanly.
So basically what you're doing is you're taking 2 coins and putting them on either side of the seam there, and then just sort of twisting it open as you normally would, but the coins kind of firm up your grip.
Yeah, they cut right through the material. I've tried it quite a few times from that time, and it works every time, so it's like magic, yeah.
Brilliant.
That's great. And so now this guy was the vice president of this company you were meeting with?
Yeah, he was the vice president of this Taiwanese airline company called TransAsia.
Wow, so that's not a mistake that he was the vice president. This is clearly a guy with ideas.
Yeah, practical solutions for common problems kind of guy.
This is How to Do Everything. I'm Ian.
And I'm Mike. On today's show, how to be like Shrek.
But first, Taft, what can we help you with?
Well, I'm actually wanting to know, a little backstory here. I was listening to the radio the other day, and I heard a commercial jingle, and I had it stuck in my head all day, and I thought I should call you guys and ask, how do you compose a jingle?
What is the jingle? Can you sing it for us?
Well, I'll perform it for you to the best of my abilities. My favorite part of the jingle is the very end when he says, today. So it goes, 800-588-2300 Empire today.
That was beautiful.
You like that?
You can appreciate the fact that these guys know what they're doing. That's a catchy jingle.
I don't know. I gotta give credit to the guys who wrote that song because it certainly worked.
All right. So just to repeat, tell us your question again.
Well, how do you compose a catchy jingle?
I think we can help you out.
Okay, I appreciate it, guys. And I don't know if you heard, but I meant to ask you during this too. But if you guys have any availability for interns, we'd be happy to help you out.
Okay.
Sure. Yeah, that's there's a lot of competition for that position.
Yeah, it's pretty rigorous. Can you lift over 40 pounds?
I can lift more than 40 pounds over my head.
All right. Well, we'll certainly consider your application, and when somebody from our office will get in touch with you shortly.
Yeah, we'll get back to you, Taft.
All right. Take care, guys. Bye.
Well, I think we have somebody who can help Taft out.
Yeah, Barry Manilow, you've written more than a few jingles, right?
I have.
So what are some of the jingles that you've done?
Well, there were loads of jingles back when I started doing that, and that was in the 70s. But the ones that they still play are the State Farm one. State Farm is there. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And the other one that they play now and again is I Am Stuck on a Band-Aid. So those are the two that I wrote that they still play. But there were dozens more over the years in the 3 or 4 years that I was involved in it, from Kentucky Fried Chicken to Tropicana, and a load of jingles that I had something to do with.
So you mentioned Band-Aid and State Farm, which are, the classics. Is there one that you did that you really thought was great that, didn't catch on quite as much as those did?
Well, here's what the deal is. I don't know whether they still work like this. What would happen is I would get a phone call from the agent who was representing the product, and they would say, for State Farm, they said they wanted a ballad. They wanted a pretty melody for this company, and then they would give you the lyric. They would give you the hook line, which is State Farm is there, and then they would give you the whole lyric whenever you're driving and wherever you're bound, and they would get down to like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. So I would put that on the piano, and I would try to come up with the catchiest melody I could that would be memorable, and it would have to happen in 15 seconds. And I would submit mine, and 20 other guys would submit theirs, and whoever came up with the catchiest melody would get the spot.
Wow.
So now the question is, how do you write a catchy jingle? And the answer is nobody knows. Nobody, because that's like asking, how do you write a song? Nobody knows. John Lennon said, try to make it rhyme and give it a backbeat. That's about as close as you could get how to write a pop song. But as far as the jingle goes, you try to write the catchiest melody you can write that will work in 15 seconds. And those were really good days for me because it was the beginning of my pop music career, and it really helped me to focus in on writing catchy melodies. Copacabana can't be any catchier, and I learned about that by having to write the catchiest melody in 15 seconds. One story that I remember is that I went up for an American Airlines commercial, and it was pretty good, but I ended it with, I forget what the lyric was, something special in the air, and my melody went, something special in the air, and they said, you nearly got it, but you can't go down on the melody on an airline commercial. Oh. It has to go up.
So one of the other jingles that you wrote is for Kentucky Fried Chicken, and that's another one, kind of like State Farm, where there's almost a little story going on. Could you talk about the lyrics to that particular jingle?
Well, I didn't write that one. I arranged it, I sang on it, but I didn't write that one. But that's another good example. The Kentucky Fried Chicken one was how the heck did that go again? That was get a bucket of chicken, finger licking good. I mean, that is really a catchy melody, and that jingle started off right at the top of the hook. There was no beginning to that jingle. It just started on the hook. It didn't start off with when you're hungry or when your family needs. It just started off bang, get a bucket of chicken.
That's almost a threat. Yeah. Get a bucket of chicken.
So do you perform your jingles in concert?
In the early days, when I began my performing career, and this was even before Mandy, I knew that I needed something for the audience to recognize because I had my first album out, and there were no hits on that first album. And in desperation, I put together a medley of all the jingles that I had done. And it went over like, oh my goodness, it was headlines in every review that I had done, a medley of these jingles, and it was the hit song of my early show.
There's barking in the kitchen, yelling in the hall, ringing at the doorbell, pounding on the wall, kids out of sight, and kids in the way. No time to cook on this hectic day. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Get a bucket of chicken, think a lick is good. Have a barrel of fun. Goodbye, ho-hum. Say hello to your family. Come on, everyone. Get Kentucky Fried Chicken. Have a barrel of fun. Just like Packy Act or what? Here's Reparata with yet another one.
Whenever you're driving and wherever you're bound, on freeways and byways, the whole country round, you'll feel better knowing anytime, anywhere, just like a good neighbor. State Farm is there. State Farm is there.
Did you do Bathroom Bowl Blues?
I did. I'm sorry to say, yes.
Well, Barry Manilow, thank you so much for your time. I'm sure Taft is going to take this, and maybe if he has success, he'll bring back the era of jingles to commercials.
Right. Well, just tell him to write a hook. Write a great hook in 15 seconds, and he's on his way.
Hey, whatever question you might have, whether it's the kind of thing Barry Manilow could answer or not, get it to us at howto@npr.org.
We promise there's no question too big or too Manilow-ish for us to solve.
This message comes from Schwab. At Schwab, how you invest is your choice, not theirs. That's why when it comes to managing your wealth, Schwab gives you more choices. You can invest and trade on your own. Plus, get advice and more comprehensive wealth solutions to help meet your unique needs. With award-winning service, low costs, and transparent advice, you can manage your wealth your way at Schwab. Visit schwab.com to learn more.
Support for NPR and the following message come from Rosetta Stone, the perfect app to achieve your language learning goals no matter how busy your schedule gets. It's designed to maximize study time with immersive 10-minute lessons and audio practice for your commute. Plus, tailor your learning plan for specific objectives like travel. Get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership for 50% off and unlimited access to 25 language courses. Learn more at rosettastone.com/NPR. This message comes from the John D. and Catherine T. MacArthur Foundation, recognizing extraordinarily creative individuals with a track record of excellence. More information on this year's MacArthur Fellows is at macfound.org.
All right, we got an email from Tiernan. Now, Tiernan just got the role of Shrek in his high school musical. It's a big deal. Congratulations.
Nicely done,
Tiernan.
And now Tiernan is also a fan of Brian Darcy James, who originated the role on Broadway.
He played Shrek.
He created it, you would say, if you were smart about this stuff.
Now, what Tiernan doesn't know is that Brian Darcy James is here with us now, listening in. So we're just going to go right to Tiernan, and we'll bring in Brian in a minute.
So, Tiernan, what questions do you have about playing the role of Shrek?
Well, I've been getting my character's been developing, but I wanted to hear some advice on how to go beyond just saying the lines, particularly because he's such an iconic character. How did he get past, Shrek's Scottish accent and just saying the lines as opposed to finding the character like you would in a lot of other musicals?
Yeah. And I mean, that's got to be kind of a strange thing because in a normal play, I imagine you're playing another person, a human being, but in Shrek, you're playing an ogre, which is maybe harder to relate to.
Exactly.
Tiernan, I think that's something we can help you with. Brian, are you there?
Hi, Tiernan.
Hi.
How's it going, man?
It's good. How's it going with you?
It's going very well. I've been listening to what you've been saying, and Tiernan, you sound like you've had a lot of experience acting, and the way you talk about how you're approaching this is very impressive. In a lot of ways, I feel like just what you've been communicating and your mindset is really kind of perfectly ripe for this conversation or for your approach to playing any character, let alone this ogre.
Well, thank you very much.
Well, hey, so Brian, let's get to some of the things Tiernan was talking about. It is, Shrek is a character that isn't a lot like who any of us are day to day. How do you start getting into that character?
Well, obviously, no one knows what it is to be an ogre, but we all know what it's like to feel alone, to feel scared, to feel isolated, to feel angry, to feel monstrous in a way, in terms of how we perhaps show our emotions or release them. And I think, you're in high school, right? It's a boarding school. It's a high school boarding school.
Yep.
I don't want to put words in your mouth or paint you with the wrong brush, but I know in my experience in high school, and I think this is probably true with a lot of people, young adults this age, it is an incredible revelatory time for a person. And oftentimes there's great joy in that, and there's also great pain in that, in terms of finding oneself and finding where they belong and who they are and how they fit in. And so I think, now that I'm just saying it out loud, I think this show is pretty amazing to consider to do for a high school, because the theme of finding oneself and figuring out who you are and what makes you proud about yourself and what makes you feel ashamed or things you need to work on or things you need to explore about yourself. This is a fantastic show for that. Letting your freak flag fly and all that. It's a great anthem for just being who you are.
Thank you so much. That's really good advice. Wow.
I hope so. I don't know if that's true.
Does Shrek have an accent in the musical?
We talked a lot about that at the beginning, and Mike Myers. In fact, I heard a story that he didn't have an accent. He did a Canadian accent originally, and they were about three quarters of the way through the making of the film, and Mike Myers wanted to felt it very, very important to try doing it in a Scottish accent, once again to define his otherness, to make him something different than the rest of the sounds as well as the sight of the character. So we followed suit with that. But having said that, I think, Tiernan, you can explore finding. You don't have to do a perfect Scottish accent by any means, but I do think it helps by, again, that defining him as being something different.
Tiernan, what is your Shrek voice like?
You want to hear it?
I just heard it.
Just a little bit. That'll do, donkey. That'll do.
Wow.
You're better than me.
No.
I sounded Romanian about three months into the run.
Well, I imagine like an ogre is a big guy, and haven't seen either of you. Brian, I've seen you, but you're not a huge guy, right?
No, not at all. I mean, well, I don't think I am.
So what's the secret to playing like a big, burly, beastly ogre? I mean, physicality, you have to carry yourself differently, right?
That's true, yeah. So, you just kind of did it in creating your image in your head and that snapshot that you just kind of, the audio version of that. You'll find ways to find it in your voice. You'll find ways to find it in your walk. You'll find ways in I would explore, Tiernan, just motion and what it takes to move. I had a secret epiphany watching Joe Cocker once on a YouTube video. I stumbled across this thing, but he has the most incredibly unique movement patterns when he sings. And I thought that was pretty cool, and I always secretly had that in my mind as a kind of a DNA for his movement. So, and that, obviously I wasn't walking or trying to be Joe Cocker, but find things that you can see that you relate to as being kind of lumbersome and all those things. I'm sure you're already doing that.
Tiernan, who's your Joe Cocker? Do you have one?
I hadn't really thought about that yet, so now I'm going to have to go find one.
It's an amalgam of images that I have. I would always, when I was doing it, it's like, if you're pregnant for the first time, all of a sudden everyone you see in the world is pregnant, and you're just realizing it for the first time. I'm not pregnant, by the way, but
okay.
Thanks, yeah. So what I'm trying to say is find little things that you see in others on campus or in books that can give you a visual foothold on it, because I found that those things were always little touchstones for me to come back to just to check in on and make sure I was achieving what I had imagined.
That's great for your friends, too, because you can be like, hey, I just want you to know your loneliness inspired my performance in Shrek.
Yeah, special note in the program. Thanks to Charles Feldman. He's very lonely, and it helped me.
Well, Brian, Tiernan, thank you both so much.
Thank you very much.
Bye, guys. Thanks.
Well, that does it for this week's show. What'd you learn, Ian?
Well, I learned that Shrek originally had a Canadian accent.
That's a different movie, isn't it?
Yeah, Shrek has free health care.
I guess that's true. I mean, the trick always would be whether or not they have like ogre doctors that are there. Like, I don't know what the internal organs and like the skeletal structure of the ogre is like.
Sure. No matter who you are, I think it doesn't feel good when you go to the doctor and they're like, you know what? Maybe a veterinarian is right for you. I certainly wouldn't want to hear that.
Yeah.
But it would get rid of my ringworm. How to Do Everything is produced by Blythe Haga with technical direction from Lorna White.
Our intern this week is Liz Wildenberg. Nice job, Liz.
Who's Liz?
She's a friend of mine.
Get us your questions at howto@npr.org.
And check out our website at howtodoeverything.org.
I'm Shrek.
I'm Shrek.
Thanks.
Thanks.
Okay.
That was awesome.
At what point in Broadway training do you learn to burp on command?
Well, it's a different class than the farting, but it's very early on.
This message comes from Jackson. Let's face it, retirement planning can be confusing. At Jackson, we're working to make retirement clear for everyone, starting with you. Our easy-to-understand resources and user-friendly digital tools help simplify your entire experience. You can have confidence in your retirement with clarity from Jackson. Seek the clarity you deserve at jackson.com. Jackson is short for Jackson Financial Incorporated, Jackson National Life Insurance Company, Lansing, Michigan, and Jackson National Life Insurance Company of New York, Purchase, New York.
Support for NPR and the following message come from IXL Online. Is your child asking questions on their homework you don't feel equipped to answer? IXL Learning uses advanced algorithms to give the right help to each kid, no matter the age or personality. One subscription gets you everything. One site for all the kids in your home, pre-K to 12th grade. Make an impact on your child's learning. Get IXL now. And NPR listeners can get an exclusive 20% off IXL membership when they sign up today at IXL.com/NPR.